Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today we are going to take a closer look at one of the most iconic pieces in American currency history, the Washington $quarter coin, but not just any quarters. We are diving into the top 9 most valuable Washington quarters ever minted, coins that could be hiding in your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin jar. And believe it or not, some of these rare pieces are now worth thousands and even up to $1 million in today's collector market. We're diving deep into a common yet fascinating coin, the 1998 Washington $quarter. While it might seem like just another coin from the 90s, some examples of this quarter are worth way more than 25 cents. In fact, a few of these coins have shocked collectors and made headlines at auctions with their impressive value. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932, introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, this quarter has gone through many changes over the decades. By 1998, the coin had settled into a modern design style, just before a major change in 1999, the launch of the 50-state quarters program. The 1998 quarter was minted in Denver, with a total mintage of over 821 million coins. Yes, that's a huge number, which might make you think that none of these could possibly be rare or valuable. But here's where things get interesting. Among these hundreds of millions of quarters, some came out with errors. Others are preserved in such pristine condition that collectors are willing to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for them. Let's break down exactly what makes a 1998 Washington quarter valuable. First, mint errors. These are accidental mistakes that happen during the minting process and can dramatically increase a coin's value. Some 1998 quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes, double dies, and even clipped planchets. Coins with off-center errors, where the design is not properly aligned, can sell for anywhere between $20 to $100, depending on how dramatic the error is. Then there's the famous double die error. While not as common in the 1998 quarter, if you happen to find one with noticeable doubling, especially on the lettering or the date, hold on to it. Some collectors have paid over $300 for strong double die varieties from the 1990s. Another aspect that raises value is coin grading. Collectors love coins in perfect or near-perfect condition. These are known as mint state coins and are graded from MS60 to MS70. An MS70 is a perfect coin with no imperfections, even under magnification. That's rare. Most circulated coins fall below MS60, but if you find a 1998 quarter in MS66 or higher, it could be worth a nice premium. In fact, a 1998 quarter graded MS68 by PCGS once sold at auction for over $3,000. Yes, you heard that right. $3,000 for a quarter minted just a few decades ago. What made it valuable was its flawless surface, perfect strike, and rarity at that grade. Even MS67 examples, which are more common than MS68 but still rare, can fetch between $50 and $200. So if you come across a 1998 quarter that looks uncirculated, it might be worth sending to a grading company like PCGS or NGC to get it certified. Let's also talk about full strike details. Some quarters are weakly struck, especially around Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers on the reverse. But those with full details, especially if they're also in mint state, are far more desirable to collectors. So, what should you look for in your pocket change or coin jar? Number 1, check the date and mint mark. Make sure it's a 1998 with AD for Denver under the word, "In God We Trust." Number 2, examine the coin under good lighting. Look for doubling on the words Liberty, $quarter, or the date. Number 3, flip the coin and check the reverse. Is the eagle sharply detailed? Are there any visible minting errors like cuds, cracks, or off-center designs? And number 4, consider the condition. The fewer scratches and marks, the higher the grade. A clean, lustrous surface with no wear is a great sign. Now, let's talk current market value. Most circulated 1998 quarters are worth just face value, 25 cents. But uncirculated ones start around $1 and can reach into the hundreds if they're high grade or contain errors. Error coins with moderate off-center strikes or small clips can range from $20 to $50. Severe errors or those combined with high grades can sell for $200 or more. Graded coins in MS67 condition are currently trading between $75 and $150. And remember, MS-68 examples are exceptionally rare and have crossed the $3,000 mark in major coin auctions. So, what does all this mean for you? It means that a seemingly ordinary coin like the 1998 Wshington quarter could turn out to be a hidden gem. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, checking your change is always worth the time. And who knows, maybe your next big coin discovery is already sitting in your pocket. If any of those coins could be worth a fortune. What if I told you that a regular-looking quarter from 1966 could actually be hiding hundreds or even thousands of dollars in value? Stick around because today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1966 Wshington $quarter coin. From its origins and historical context to rare errors and sky-high auction sales. This coin has more to it than meets the eye. Let's rewind to the mid-1960s. The year is 1966. The United States is in the midst of cultural and economic transformation. The Vietnam War is escalating. NASA is pushing forward with the space race. And in the world of coin collecting, something major has just happened. The U.S. Mint had recently stopped using silver in most of its circulating coins. By 1965, the Wshington quarter, which had previously been made of 90% silver, was now composed of a clad combination of copper and nickel. The reason? Rising silver prices made it too expensive to keep making coins out of precious metal. So, the 1966 Wshington quarter was part of this major shift, one of the first full years of the non-silver quarters. This alone makes the 1966 quarter historically significant. But what makes it potentially valuable to collectors today? Let's break it down. First, we need to talk about mintage. In 1966, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 821 million quarters. That's right, more than 821 million. So, on the surface, it seems like this coin wouldn't be rare at all. But here's the twist. During 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint did not put mint marks on coins to discourage coin hoarding. So, you won't see a P, D, or S on the 1966 quarter. That absence can make things confusing when identifying coins, especially for new collectors. But it also means that distinguishing a truly rare 1966 quarter requires a closer look at its condition and any unique features or errors. Now let's get into the real moneymakers, error coins, and high-grade specimens. Some 1966 Wshington quarters have been found with striking errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets. These are not your everyday quarters. Take, for example, a 1966 quarter with a noticeable double die error on the obverse. That's the side with George Washington's profile. Depending on how visible the doubling is, these can sell for hundreds of dollars or more. And then there's the matter of condition. In coin collecting, condition is king. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws. A regular 1966 quarter from your pocket might be worth face value, 25 cents. But a 1966 quarter graded at MS-67 or higher, that's mint state, near perfect, could fetch serious money at auction. In fact, one pristine 1966 quarter graded MS-67 by PCGS sold for over $3,800. That's right, nearly $4,000 for a coin that most people would overlook. Even coins in MS-66 condition can be worth between $50 and a couple $100, depending on the market and collector demand. And if you're lucky enough to find a coin in MS-68, well, that's extremely rare. Only a tiny number of 1,966 quarters have ever been graded that high, and they can bring in thousands of dollars. Another interesting angle is the special mint set or SMS coins. These were produced between 1965 and 1967 instead of traditional proof sets. SMS coins have a sharper strike and satin-like finish compared to regular circulation coins. While not as rare as proofs from earlier years, high-grade SMS 1966 quarters with cameo or deep cameo contrast can still sell for good money. A 1966 SMS quarter in high grade with deep cameo could sell for anywhere from $100 to several $100. So where does the 1966 quarter stand today in the market? Right now, in 2025, collectors are paying close attention to vintage-clad coins like the 1966 quarter. As more collectors realize the historical value of these transitional-era coins, prices for high-grade and rare-era examples are trending upward. The average circulated 1966 quarter might still just be worth 25 cents, but if you have one in mint state, or better yet, a known error, you might be sitting on a small treasure. Now before you go digging through your coin jar, here's a pro tip. Always check for sharp details on George Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Strong detail and luster often mean the coin hasn't been handled much. That's a good sign. Also, consider submitting potentially valuable coins to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can significantly increase your coin's market value. So next time you see a 1966 quarter, don't toss it aside. Give it a closer look. It might just be a hidden gem from one of the most pivotal years in U.S. coinage history. We're diving deep into one of the most surprising modern coins that could be hiding in your pocket change right now, the 1982 D Washington quarter dollar. It's a small coin with a massive story, and if you've got one in the right condition, it could be worth more than you think. So grab your magnifying glass and settle in, because this is the fascinating tale of a 1982 D Washington quarter. A coin with a rich history and serious value. Let's rewind the clock to 1982. Ronald Reagan had just become President of the United States. Michael Jackson released Thriller, and the U.S. Mint made a major change that would shake up the coin collecting world forever. That year, due to budget cuts and rising production costs, the U.S. Mint made a decision that would make some 1982 quarters extremely collectible today. They stopped producing uncirculated mint sets. That's right, no mint sets for collectors to buy directly from the mint in 1982. What does that mean for the 1982 D Washington quarter? Well, since collectors couldn't get pristine versions from the mint, the only way to find a high-quality 1982 D quarter today is if someone pulled it from circulation early and kept it in great condition. That's why finding this coin in mint state or better can be extremely difficult and extremely valuable. Let's talk details. The 1982 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which means it bears the D Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Over 480 million of these coins were minted. So yes, they're technically common in circulated condition. But what makes this coin special is not just its mintage number. It's the condition and a few rare varieties that send collectors into a frenzy. One of the most exciting things about this coin is the 1982 D no mint mark error. Wait, you might be saying, wasn't this coin struck in Denver? Yes, it was. But error coins without a clear mint mark have been reported, either from worn dies or a weak strike. These are rare and can fetch a premium. Even more valuable is a high-grade 1982 D with a strong strike and full details, especially with clear lettering and strong edges. But here's where the big money comes in. In recent years, high-grade 1982 D quarters have sold for serious cash at auctions. For example, a 1982 D quarter graded MS68 by PCGS, that's Mint State 68, has sold for over $1,500. Yes, you heard that right. Over $1,500 for a quarter that originally cost 25 cents. The reason is simple. These coins are incredibly hard to find in top condition because they were never protected by mint sets. Most were spent, scraped, scratched, and forgotten in circulation. And that's not even mentioning the full drum lines on the reverse, often referred to by collectors as full strike or full details. These versions show every fine line on the drum in the eagle's claws, and if you've got one with that kind of detail in mint state, you're sitting on a potential treasure. So what should you be looking for if you want to hunt for a valuable 1982 D Washington quarter? First, check the condition. The higher the grade, the better. Look for a clean surface with no major scratches, shiny luster, and sharp detail, especially on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Second, get out your magnifying glass and look for strong edges and clear lettering. Finally, if you think you've found a winner, consider sending it off to be professionally graded. Grading makes a huge difference when selling coins on the market. It's the gold standard for collectors and auction houses. As of now, in 2025, the market remains strong for high-grade 1982 D quarters. Coins graded MS65 and higher regularly sell for between $100 and $500 depending on detail and luster. Anything above MS67 is rare and can cross the $1,000 mark easily. Even raw coins, that is, ungraded ones, in great condition can sell online for $20 to $50, and more if they show full details. So the next time you're digging through your change jar or paying for coffee, take a second to flip over that quarter. That little coin from 1982 might be worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. We're diving deep into one of the most interesting and surprisingly valuable coins in recent American history, the 1983 Denver Mint Washington quarter. This isn't just about a $quarter piece. It's about why this particular coin from 1983 can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its condition and unique features. So whether you're a collector, a casual coin roll hunter, or just curious, stick around. This could be the most valuable 4 minutes of your day. Let's go back to the year 1983. It was a time when Ronald Reagan was president, Return of the Jedi was crushing it in theaters, and compact discs were just starting to enter the market. But in the world of coins, 1983 was a crucial year, especially for the Washington Quarter series. What makes the 1983 D quarter so special isn't just how old it is. It's the circumstances under which it was made. At in 1982 and 1983. The U.S. Mint didn't release any official mint sets. That means collectors couldn't just go out and buy pristine, uncirculated versions of coins from those years. This may sound like a minor detail, but it actually turned out to be a major reason why finding a high-quality 1983 D quarter today is so rare. Most of the quarters from that year went directly into circulation, which means they were used, worn, and handled every day. Very few were saved in mint condition. But there's more to the story. Many of the 1983 D quarters were poorly struck or struck on improperly prepared planchets. That means they can have weak details, dull surfaces, and noticeable flaws. Because of this, finding a 1983 D quarter in excellent condition, especially with a full strike and minimal wear, is extremely uncommon. That scarcity is exactly what drives up the value. Now here's where it gets really interesting. One of the most valuable versions of the 1983 D quarter is one that displays what's called a spitting eagle variety. This variety features a small die crack that extends from the eagle's beak on the reverse side of the coin. It literally looks like the eagle is spitting. Sounds funny, but it's serious money. Collectors love varieties like this, and when they're combined with a high-grade condition, the value can skyrocket. In circulated condition, a 1983 D Washington quarter might only be worth its face value, 25 cents. But if it's in uncirculated condition, it could be worth $10, $20, or even more. And that's just for average uncirculated pieces. If you're lucky enough to find a coin that's been professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC at mint state 65 or higher, that's when things get exciting. For example, in 2014, a 1983 D quarter graded MS67 by PCGS sold at auction for over $1,500. Yes, you heard that right. One coin, one quarter, over $1,500. The highest recorded price for a top-grade 1983 D quarter was nearly $2,000. And if we're talking about varieties like the Spitting Eagle in mint state, those can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100s depending on demand. So what should you look for if you want to check your pocket change? First, flip the coin and look at the back. Check the eagle's beak closely under a magnifying glass or even with your phone's camera zoomed in. Look for any raised lines that stretch outward. It might be the Spitting Eagle die crack. Next, examine the overall condition. Sharp details, a full rim, no major scratches or contact marks. All of these are signs of a higher grade coin. The shinier and sharper it is, the better your chances of a valuable find. Finally, look at the coin's mint mark. It should have a D under the word "In God We Trust," meaning it was struck in Denver.
No, D?
Then it's not the coin we're talking about today. Even though the 1983 D quarter isn't made from silver, and even though millions were minted, the unique circumstances of its release and the scarcity of high-quality examples make it one of the modern era's most desirable and overlooked coins. So, before you toss that change in the vending machine or into your coin jar, take a second and look closely. That little quarter from 1983 with a D mint mark might just be your ticket to a coin collector's jackpot. We dive into a fascinating piece of American coinage history, the 1996 P Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary pocket change coin, but this seemingly common quarter holds more surprises than you might expect. Some examples of this coin have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars under the right conditions. So let's explore the full story behind this intriguing coin and find out why collectors are willing to pay big money for the right one. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. It was introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, the quarter has seen several design changes, but from 1932 through 1998, the obverse featured a portrait of George Washington sculpted by John Flanagan. The reverse design on the 1996 quarter still shows the familiar heraldic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches beneath, a symbol of peace and strength. The letter P on the 1996 quarter indicates that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. In that year, over 900 million of these quarters were produced at that facility alone, making it a common coin in circulation. However, not all 1996 P quarters are created equal. Certain rare varieties and mint errors make some examples extremely valuable to collectors and investors. Now let's talk about the key factors that can make a 1996 P Washington quarter worth much more than face value. The number one factor is condition. Coins in mint state, meaning they have never been circulated and have no wear, can fetch a high premium. A 1996 P quarter graded MS68 by PCGS or NGC, for example, can be worth hundreds or even over $1,000, simply because so few have survived in such pristine condition. A perfect MS70 grade would be even rarer and far more valuable, although no such examples are currently known to exist for this specific coin. Beyond condition, collectors look for special characteristics like full strike details or special luster. But the real jackpot lies in error coins. Some 1996 P quarters were struck with dramatic minting errors that make them stand out. These include double dies, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. For instance, a 1996 P quarter that was struck on a dime planchet, making it both smaller and lighter than usual, has sold for thousands of dollars at auction. Another well-known error is the double die obverse, where the details of Washington's profile or the lettering appear doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Such errors are rare but extremely valuable. Another thing to keep in mind is that the market for collectible coins can be highly volatile. Coin values depend not just on rarity and condition but also on the popularity of the coin, the demand among collectors, and current trends in the precious metals market. While the 1996 P quarter is not made of silver or gold and contains no precious metal content, its numismatic value can still be quite high under the right circumstances. To give you a clearer picture, here are some recent sales from reputable auction houses. In 2023, a 1996 P quarter graded MS68 by PCGS sold for over $1,500 due to its nearly flawless condition. Meanwhile, a striking error coin from the same year sold for just over $2,700 because of a dramatic off-center strike. These examples show that even a modern-clad coin from the 1990s can achieve serious value when the right features are present. So how can you tell if your 1996 P Washington quarter might be valuable? Start by checking its condition. If it's been kept in a protective holder since it was minted, there's a good chance it could be worth grading. Look for any unusual features under a magnifying glass, especially doubling on the letters or Washington's eye, ear, and hair details. Weigh the coin if you suspect it could be an off-metal strike. The standard weight for a copper-nickel-clad quarter is 5.67 grams. Anything significantly lighter or heavier may indicate an error. Lastly, don't forget to compare your coin to images of known high-value varieties available on certified grading websites or auction records. If you believe you have a rare variety or a high-grade example, it's worth sending it in to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication and encapsulation can dramatically increase the resale value of your coin. To wrap it up, while most 1996 P quarters you find in circulation are only worth 25 cents, a rare few can be worth hundreds or even thousands. The keys to value lie in condition, rarity, and those fascinating mint errors that slip past the quality controls of the U.S. Mint. It's a great example of how even everyday change can hold hidden treasures, and a reminder that coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it can be an investment too. We uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that might be hiding right under your nose, the 2002 D1803 Washington quarter. If you've got one of these coins, you might be holding on to something worth more than just 25 cents. Let's break down the story, the details, and the market value of this fascinating quarter. So what exactly is the 2002 D1803 Washington quarter? At first glance, this coin might look like any other state quarter, but it carries a bit of history and mystery that sets it apart. The 2002 D means it was minted in Denver, part of the United States Mint's State Quarters program, which began in 1999. That year, 5 different states were honored, and in 2002, Ohio was one of them. Here's where it gets interesting. The Ohio State Quarter design commemorates the state's role in aviation and space exploration, but it also includes the year 1803 prominently on the reverse. That's because 1803 was the year Ohio officially became a state. Now let's talk about the coin's design and why collectors love it. The obverse of the coin features the classic portrait of George Washington, which you'll see on all quarters from that era. The reverse side, which is where the value can really jump, features an astronaut and an early biplane flying over the state outline of Ohio. It's a beautiful tribute, and that space theme has drawn a lot of attention from collectors who are into both coins and space history. You might be asking, what makes a 2002 D Ohio quarter valuable? The key is in the details. While most of these coins are worth face value, some have rare errors, minting mistakes, or high-quality grades that turn them into real moneymakers. For instance, if your coin is in uncirculated condition or has been professionally graded MS67 or higher, it can fetch significantly more than face value. In fact, examples in top condition have sold at auction for between $50 and several $100s. Another thing to look out for are error coins. Some 2002 D Ohio quarters have been found with off-center strikes, die cracks, or double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled. These types of errors are uncommon and can boost the coin's value significantly. In some cases, collectors have paid over $1,000 for dramatic and verified error coins from this series. Let's take a moment to talk about coin grading. This is a huge factor when it comes to determining your coin's market value. A coin graded MS60 is in mint state but may have some noticeable blemishes. MS65 or higher means it's nearly flawless. The higher the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay, especially for state quarters that are over 20 years old and still in pristine condition. So what's the current market like for these coins? As of now, circulated 2002 D Ohio quarters are generally worth around their face value. However, uncirculated examples in mint sets can range from a couple of dollars to $10 each, depending on the buyer. Coins that have been certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC and have achieved high grades are where the real value lies. In recent years, we've seen MS68 specimens sell for as much as $200 or more. If you think you've got a 2002 D Ohio quarter that might be valuable, here's what you should do. First, examine it under good lighting with a magnifying glass. Look for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or other unusual features. If it looks pristine and you think it could be high grade, consider submitting it to a coin grading service. Yes, there's a fee involved, but for coins with potential value, it could be well worth the investment. Also, be aware of fakes or altered coins. Since rare coins attract attention, some might try to artificially create error coins or fake high grades. Always rely on reputable dealers and grading services to evaluate authenticity. To wrap up, the 2002 D1803 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin, but it has the potential to be worth much more. Whether through rare errors, high-grade condition, or collector interest, this coin holds a unique place in modern numismatics. So check your change, look through those old coin jars, and you just might discover a small fortune hiding in plain sight. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare U.S. coins, specifically the 2004 P Washington quarter and the 1845 quarter dollar. These two coins may seem worlds apart in time, but both have become iconic in their own right. Whether you found one in your pocket change or you're a seasoned numismatist, this video will explore their history, their hidden treasures, and why they can be worth big money today. Let's start with the 2004 P Washington quarter. Part of the 50-state quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint, the 2004 quarters feature 5 different reverse designs honoring the states of Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which produced millions of these quarters. But not all quarters are created equal. Among the 2004 P quarters, one in particular has become a collector's favorite, the Wisconsin State Quarter, because of a fascinating and valuable minting error. Known as the extra leaf error, This variety comes in two types, the extra leaf high and extra leaf low. These are found on the left side of the corn stalk on the reverse of the Wisconsin quarter. These errors were not part of the original design, and collectors speculate they were either accidental die gouges or intentional by a mint worker. Either way, they turned into a modern treasure. The extra leaf high and low varieties can fetch between $50 and $200 in circulated condition. Uncirculated examples and those graded by top-tier services like PCGS or NGC can sell for $400 to even over $1,000 depending on their grade. A top-graded MS67 example of the extra leaf high recently sold for over $2,000 at auction. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about an even older and rarer coin, the 1845 Washington quarter. This coin predates the famous Washington quarter series that began in 1932. If you're referring to an 1845 quarter dollar in general, it would actually be from the Seated Liberty series, which ran from 1838 to 1891. The 1845 Seated Liberty quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and New Orleans. On the obverse, Lady Liberty is seated with a shield and liberty pole, a classic image of 19th century American coinage. The reverse features the heraldic eagle, a majestic symbol of national strength. In terms of mintage, Philadelphia struck just under 400,000 of these coins, while the New Orleans Mint produced a bit more than half that amount. Due to age, low survival rates, and their historical value, these coins are highly prized. Circulated examples in good condition can be worth a couple of $100s. But high-grade uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS65 or above, can command thousands of dollars. One example of an 1845 seated Liberty quarter in MS65 condition sold at auction for over $10,000. That's right, a single coin worth more than 10 grand, thanks to its rarity and state of preservation. Now, let's talk about what determines value for both these coins. It all comes down to three key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. A common coin in poor condition may only be worth face value, but if that same coin has a mint error or is in pristine mint state, collectors will pay a premium. Add historical significance to the mix, and you've got a valuable coin on your hands. Another important element is certification. If you believe you have a rare coin, whether it's a 2004 Wisconsin extra leaf quarter or an 1845 seated Liberty quarter, consider sending it to a professional grading service. Companies like PCGS and NGC offer authentication, grading, and encapsulation that protect your coin and increase its resale value. Now let's fast forward to the current market. As of this year, the 2004 extra leaf quarters are still in demand, particularly as younger collectors are drawn to modern mint errors. Prices remain strong, especially for coins in high grades. Meanwhile, the 1845 seated Liberty quarters continue to rise in value slowly and steadily. These coins are getting harder to find in decent condition, which only increases their long-term value for serious collectors. So whether you're a casual coin hunter hoping to score big from a pocket change find or a serious investor with an eye for 19th century history, both the 2004 Washington quarter and the 1845 quarter dollar offer tremendous potential. Don't underestimate the coins you have. Check your change, inspect those mint marks, and always look for the hidden details that could turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. In the world of coin collecting, few coins spark the imagination quite like the Washington quarter. Today, we're diving deep into two coins that have captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike: the 2004 Washington quarter, particularly the state quarters released that year, and the historic 1846 quarter dollar, an iconic piece from the mid-19th century. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just stumbled upon one of these in your spare change, you might be surprised to learn that these coins can be worth a lot more than face value. Let's explore why. We begin with the 2004 Washington quarters. This year marked the 6th year in the U.S. Mint's popular 50-state quarters program. The Philadelphia Mint struck quarters commemorating 5 states: Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Among them, the Wisconsin State Quarter is the one that has turned heads in the collecting community due to a well-known and highly valuable mint error. This error features an extra leaf on the corn stalk on the reverse side of the coin. There are 2 known varieties, the extra leaf high and the extra leaf low. These variants were likely caused by accidental die gouges during minting, and their rarity has made them highly sought after. In top condition, especially in mint state grades like MS66 and higher, These error coins have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auction. Some specimens have fetched over $5,000 depending on the grade and the market demand at the time. Beyond errors, regular 2004 P quarters can also hold premium value in uncirculated and proof-like condition. A pristine example with no wear, clear luster, and strong strike can grade highly and appeal to those assembling full-state quarter sets. While a normal circulated 2004 P quarter might only be worth its face value of 25 cents, a graded mint state coin can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s depending on the condition and rarity of the strike. Now, let's take a step back in time to a much older and historically significant coin, the 1846 Washington quarter dollar. But wait, there was no Washington quarter in 1846. In fact, the quarter dollar of that year was part of the seeded Liberty series, which was minted from 1838 to 1891. These coins depicted the figure of Liberty seated on a rock, holding a shield and a pole with a Liberty cap. The 1846 quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and has become a key date for collectors of the series. It's known for its limited mintage of just over 237,000 coins, which makes it fairly scarce, especially in higher grades in circulated condition. An 1846 seeded Liberty quarter can be worth anywhere from $50 to several hundred depending on its state of wear. But when you start talking about uncirculated specimens or those with especially clean surfaces and strong detail, the value can skyrocket. Auction prices for higher grade examples have reached into the thousands. A coin graded MS-65 or better, if you're lucky enough to find one, could command over $10,000. Even coins with minor circulation where but good eye appeal and originality are considered valuable and in demand among collectors. What makes these coins especially valuable isn't just their age or rarity. It's also their condition, their provenance, and whether any notable varieties or errors are present. For example, collectors pay special attention to things like doubling of the date, misaligned dies, and overdates. Any small distinguishing feature can significantly enhance a coin's market value. As of today, in 2025, both of these coins, the 2004 P Washington quarters with error varieties and the 1846 seeded Liberty quarter, remain highly collectible and hold strong value on the numismatic market. The coin community continues to seek out the extra leaf Wisconsin quarter, and new high-grade discoveries of the 1846 Liberty quarter continue to surface at auctions and in private collections. Market prices can fluctuate based on demand, but these coins are considered stable investments due to their desirability and history. If you believe you have one of these coins, especially the Wisconsin extra leaf variety or an original 1846 quarter, consider getting it graded by a reputable coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. Grading can not only protect your coin but also give it a certified market value that can increase your chances of selling it at a higher price. Coin collecting is not just about money. It's about history, legacy, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin has a story, and some stories are worth thousands. Whether it's a mistruck corn leaf from 2004 or a silver relic from the mid-1800s, these quarters remind us that treasure might just be hiding in plain sight. We are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2015 P Washington quarter dollar coins. You may have one sitting in your pocket or tucked away in a coin jar, but what if I told you some of these quarters are worth far more than just 25 cents? Yes, you heard that right. These coins can be worth serious money to collectors. And in this video, we're going to tell you exactly why. Let's start with the basics. The 2015 Washington quarters were issued as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This program was launched in 2010 and ran through 2021. Every year, 5 new quarter designs were released, each honoring a different national park or historic site in the United States. In 2015, the designs honored 5 special places: Homestead National Monument in Nebraska, Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware, and Saratoga National Historical Park in New York. Now, the 2015 quarters minted in Philadelphia carry a small letter P on the front or obverse of the coin, right next to George Washington's ponytail. That little P is important because it tells us the coin was made at the Philadelphia Mint. These coins had a high mintage, with each design being produced in the hundreds of millions. But as you know, in the world of numismatics, it's not just about how many were made, it's about how many rare and valuable versions still survive today. So, What makes a 2015p Washington quarter valuable? First, let's talk about mint errors. Error coins are a goldmine for collectors. Some 2015p quarters have been discovered with dramatic mint errors like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and missing clad layers. A double die error, especially on the obverse where Washington's profile appears, can make a coin worth anywhere from $50 to several hundred depending on condition and prominence. Another valuable error is the off-center strike, where the design is not centered on the coin blank. The more off-center it is while still showing the date and mint mark, the higher its value. Some of these have sold for over $100. Coins missing their outer nickel layer and showing a copper core, known as missing clad layer errors, are also highly collectible and can bring in $50 to $200 or more depending on eye appeal and grading. Then there's the matter of coin grading. A regular 2015p quarter in average circulated condition is worth face value. But in mint state, especially graded MS67 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the value can skyrocket. In fact, an MS67 graded 2015p Kissachi quarter sold for over $300. That's 1,200 times its face value. The Homestead and Saratoga designs in particular have been known to command premium prices in high grades due to the popularity of their artwork and limited high-grade population. If you're wondering how to find one of these rare gems, here's what to do. First, check your change and coin rolls. Focus on looking for coins with little to no wear, sharp details, and a bright luster. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubling in the lettering, die cracks around the edge of Washington's head, or strange discoloration that might point to a minting issue. You can also get coin rolls from the bank and hunt for uncirculated examples. So, what are the current market values of the 2015p Washington quarters in 2025? Let's break it down by condition and rarity. A circulated coin is still worth about 25 cents, unless it has an obvious error. Uncirculated examples can fetch $1 to $3 apiece. High-grade MS65 examples might go for $10 to $20 depending on the design. MS67 graded examples are where the big money lies. They can sell for over $100, with some error coins reaching up to $500 or even $1,000 at auction if the error is significant and dramatic. In summary, the 2015p Washington quarter dollar might seem like a regular coin at first glance, but some of them hold incredible value. Whether it's because of a rare mint error, a high-grade uncirculated condition, or collector demand for a particular design, this modern coin has become a surprising treasure. Check your change, visit your local banks, and start your own treasure hunt. You might just hold a little piece of history worth big money. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on new coin discoveries. Let me know in the comments if you found any rare 2015 quarters, or if you want me to cover a specific coin next. Until then, happy collecting and good luck on your next coin hunt.